Good afternoon. My brother and my colleague, our Cabinet Secretary for Transport, CS Macharia, and all of you, my colleagues from the national government and my colleagues from the field who are here today. Let me first of all start by saying this. Almost exactly 1 year to the day, those of you, my colleagues from the Ministry of Interior, we were in this room with His Excellency the President last year before Christmas. We had a very good discussion. On that day, we launched several documents for the National Police Service. And since that time, we have undertaken several activities, or a lot of work successfully. So I start first of all by thanking the Lord Almighty that He has kept us throughout the last 12 months, and we are meeting here today, all of us in good health, and we've continued to serve our country. Secondly, let me thank you, as always, ladies and gentlemen. As your colleagues from the ministry headquarters, we do not take it for granted that our country is safe and secure. And PS Kibicho reminds me every time. I don't know if someone can fix this up because holding a microphone is such a burden. Sorry. Yeah, this gives me a measure of freedom. I was saying that we do not take it for granted that PS Kibicho reminds me every time that in my responsibility as Cabinet Secretary for Interior, I have to always make this commitment to the country, of the public, every time I have this opportunity. Our country is safe and secure. And we are safe and secure because of the work that you people do. All of you colleagues, regional commissioners who are here, the county commissioners, the regional security teams, the police commanders, I know that oftentimes you go way beyond the call of duty to ensure that our country is safe and secure. We do not take it for granted, and I want you to know that we very sincerely, as your leaders, but most importantly, as citizens of this country also, we appreciate the work that you do. And over the last 1 year, we have worked together on illicit brews, we worked together on slot machines, we worked together on certain security incidents in some parts of the country. We worked together on several activities, and now we are supporting the education sector in ensuring that we have clean exams. We are very, very grateful to all of you, and I would like you to know that as your colleagues, we sincerely appreciate you and appreciate the work that you do. And we will continue to support you as we move forward. Now, one more time again, the call of duty is here. We are about to undertake a very important exercise. But in addition to the exercise, and you will allow me to speak to you, in the usual way of a conversation as a family. We are going to carry out this exercise, but in a sense, actually, we are beginning a journey, a long journey towards restoring order and the way in which we manage the public transport sector in our country. And let's not delude ourselves. Let's not pretend. For us in the security sector, unless, and I think I will be failing in my duty if I didn't say this, to you and to the country, one greatest example of how we are almost institutionalizing lawlessness in our country is how the public transport sector is operating. And if we do not act now, we will soon have a lot of problems in securing the country. We are dealing with a sector where people have actually decided to be almost a law unto themselves. I will shortly talk about border, for example, in the country. Each police commander in this audience knows the pain and trouble we are going through because of border across the country. And this public transport thing has slowly grown into some sort of monster. And then slowly but surely, if we do not take decisions and firm decisions to bring ourselves back to order, we will lose our societies. Where else on earth would you find people? You buy your vehicle, you are a public transport investor. You buy a vehicle, you want it to ply the route of Nairobi and Ongata Rongai. But before that vehicle operates on the road, you have to pay some mad person some 50,000 shillings, some faceless characters, for nothing. There's no contract on what you will get in return for the 50,000 shillings. And they keep collecting that amount of money. These are people you will not name. If you are a matatu operator, you will not name them. You ask someone how many people belong to that committee that receives the 50,000 for you to be able to be on that route. And then this happens especially in our main urban centers across the country. You pay these people 50,000 for you to be admitted into a route. And these faceless people, but they are a cartel over a period of time, they are hardened and they now face us in the security sector and make it difficult for us to bring about law and order. I want to tell you this, and for me, this is the key message I brought to this audience. We must change, and we are going to change, because we cannot continue to live this way. No one has lied to us that it's going to be a walk in the park. What we are about to undertake is a tough journey, but we will walk that path, or else we will lose, slowly but surely we will lose the country. I've been telling my colleagues that if we don't sort out this madness, soon enough people are going to come and live in your house or demand to live in your house, and the only way you can keep them out is by paying them money so that they don't live in your house.